Good evening, everybody. It's Mike. Hey, Stan. It's Mike with Alpha Shark. It is the 21st of March. I'm doing a webinar tonight. And tonight, guys, I don't have a lot of time. I'm about to head on vacation tomorrow, and I'm just trying to get as much information out to you guys as possible. But tonight, I want to talk to you about looking out through the next week or so. And end of the quarter markups and look ahead. So I know it's hard to believe, guys, but here we are. It's the last week of March starts next week. Can you believe that? We're already 3 months. First quarter's almost gone this year. It's like, boom, gone, right? Done. So I have a chart up here of the SPY. And one thing I've been trying to do, and I don't think a lot of people back in December, when I did my webinar with you in late December, just before Christmas, were telling you that we were going to get a Christmas rally and that this market was going to bounce. And if you're one of my subscribers, and some of you are, I've been saying tooth and nail to stay long this market, to try to find ways to stay long this market now all the way up coming into today. Now, today was a little bit of a surprise, right? I got to be honest with you. I thought today we'd get some fun and games, and this candle would be next week. By the way, the markets always roar when I'm out and on vacation, so just an FYI. So I was a little surprised by the short covering rally that we got today, but we got one big short covering rally today, didn't we? But the point of this is for the last 3 months, I've been on here trying to tell you guys to stick with the trend and stay long the markets. Whether it's in my service, which I do on a daily basis, or with you guys when I do these free webinars a couple times a month, I've been trying to tell you to stay long the markets. And I will tell you right here, again, I firmly believe this market's going to hit an all-time high before the first half of this year is over. Do I need to repeat that? I firmly believe, and I've been saying this for weeks in my service, that this market's going to hit an all-time high before the first half of this year is over. What did the Fed do yesterday, guys? You know me, guys. This is interactive. You want to come to a webinar with me, you're going to have to talk, you're going to have to speak up, you're going to have to interact with me. You know, this is always teaching, right? What did the Fed do yesterday? No rate increase, super dovish, right? The Fed came in yesterday, and I remember reading CNBC last night and this morning and shaking my head because they're bearish on their article. The Fed delivered, but they were too bearish. They were too dovish. They're never happy. The Fed's too bullish. The Fed's too bearish. Well, the Fed came in yesterday, and the Fed basically said, we're not going to be in the way of this market, didn't they? Didn't they just say that for the rest of this year and next year and the year after, that barring changes that take place that they don't know, they're out of the market, right? They're going to sit here. So basically the Fed now is out of our way. So what's left? What's standing in the way of this market? Trade. Trade is, what if we get a deal? Lousy earnings? Very good answer. Another good answer. So I shared this with my subscribers today. I was reading this weekend. So after a 20% correction, by the way, we had a 20% correction in this market for all of about an hour, right? So anytime you hear anybody say, oh, we went into a bear market, right? A bear market is 20% correction. We were there for a whole freaking hour. And it drives me insane how people focus on that and say, yep, we hit it. We're in a bear market. After a 20% correction, it typically takes 12 months to get back to an all-time high. Okay, are you with me so far? Here's where it changes. If you're in a recession, it's 18 months. Did we go into a recession? No. Are we in a recession? Does anybody think we're close to going into a recession? Despite all the bears out there screaming their heads off and pointing to everything out there saying a recession is coming. Okay, Larry, 2020 maybe. I don't care about 2020 right now, right? My focus right now is making you guys money in the shorter term, right? The next couple of weeks. Sure, we're slowing down. You're right, KM. The economy is slowing down worldwide, right? I agree. But that's not a recession, as you said, right? That's not a recession. That's just a slowdown. There's a difference, right? Huge difference. So if there's no recession, the typical recovery time is 6 months. I think we're on track, don't you? So do I. Okay. So what about buybacks? What about them? There's a ton of them. They've been buying back stock hand over fist in this market for 5 years now. Who cares anymore? Listen, guys, ultimately there's going to be a piper to be paid for all of this, but we're not going to worry about that because is that going to help you trade and make money now? No. So don't worry about it. You'll have time. Very rarely do markets other than a black swan event just roll over and die in a heartbeat, right? I want you guys to think back here. Let's pull this up. Let me pull this chart up. Let's go to 8. Oops. Oopsies. What did I do? Hang on. There we go. So when the market here died, did it roll over without giving a warning sign first? Or did it give you 3 or 4 days to get the frick out of the way? Right? Go back to last January 2018, right? It gave you time. People who were in my service, I was screaming at the top of my lungs a week before to get light, get careful. Into this, I was saying, you better be sure you have conviction or you should be getting out of this market. Here, we were worried. We knew things were not acting right. Did it just roll over or did it give you time to get out of the way before it died? Okay? My point is this. Markets very rarely just die. Unless there's an event. I don't know if this is the last last gas run up. What I can tell you is this. Right now, looking at this market, guys, you need to find ways to try to stay long. Now, here's the negatives. Going into next week and tomorrow. Okay? Yeah. What are we? Well, RSI today finally went a little heated, right? RSI touching 70, getting a little extended here off the 8-day. Right? My target for this market this week right now is 285. We hit it today. My next target is up around 290, and then we break out. Okay? Again, I think we could use some. What happens next week? What is next week that's so important here? And this is what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. What's so important about next week? Right? What happens when the quarter ends, Sankar? What makes the quarter end such a good event to play here? Nope. I don't want to talk about earnings yet, Chris and Ken and Charles. AS. Window. Forget tax. Window dressing. Window dressing. Thank you. Who said it? KM said it. Window dressing. This market right now has run, in this quarter, it's up huge. Do you know that still the vast majority of money in this market is still sitting in cash on the sidelines? If you're a hedge fund, what do you want to do here? You want to do what? You want to show that you were in the names that moved, right? So you're going to buy it to show you have some. You're going to get in the stocks that have moved. Right. Because we had a great quarter, right? It wasn't a quarter where we went flat. It was a quarter where we had a huge move, right? So now they really want to show that they were in it. Okay. What happens a week from this Monday? Yeah, April Fools. Come on. What else happens? Exactly, Greg. Yeah, he sold Bob. Exactly. He sold down 33% on Biogen. Fabulous. Well, that stock's in huge trouble. I hate to say it. Nope. What happens on Monday? April 1st, very, 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 very specifically, guys. And this is something that you need to write down. It's the start of the quarter, Stan. What does that mean? It's the start of the quarter, the start of the what? Nope. Not yet, Don. Start of the month, Joseph. So what happens on the start of the quarter and the start of the month? Stan, fund buying, right? Fund buying comes roaring in. You have Mutual Fund Monday, right? All that money that funds have to deploy, they come and they buy. So here's the thing: when everybody in their retirement plans, their money comes in usually at the end of the month or the end of the quarter, depends on how it is. The quarter is the bigger one. So this Monday morning should be bullish in the market, barring big news. That means it may not last; it may only be the first hour or so, but you'll see them start buying the market pre-market and buy it through the first half hour to an hour because all that mutual fund money, everybody putting money into their retirement plans comes into the market. Does that make sense? So you guys should try to find ways on any dip in this market to be long into the end of the week and into that. And then you have earnings and everything else starts to take place. And we'll worry about that down the road. So last week I came on, I talked to you guys about tight setups triggering. Have you guys been paying attention to some of those setups and how they're triggering? Have you seen what I'm talking about? Have you seen names like Twitter and Amazon and Apple and now Netflix and starting to run? Not seasonality, Bob. It's Mutual Fund Monday. It's a word for it. All the funds, everybody who's putting money into their IRAs, right? If you are at work for a company, every month, every paycheck, money goes in and they company match. They usually don't put that money into the markets until the end of the month or mostly the end of the quarter. Right? So a lot of those tight setups have triggered already. We talked about that last week. So what are some names now going into next week you guys should have your eyes on here? Right? So I'm going to start you off. Okay? I'm going to start you off with the one you just brought up, KM. And I'm going to tell you this is one you have to be a little bit more careful of. Apple. Love Apple. We talked about Apple getting ready for a big move back in here. Fake out to the downside, break to the upside. You cannot chase Apple up here. My target was 185, then 190. We're at 195. You're not chasing Apple up here. RSI is hot. And what does Apple have going on Monday? Come on, guys. What's Apple have going on Monday? Right? An event. New service announcement. An event. Historically, what does Apple do into events? It runs into them and does what on the news? Sells. So if you're in Apple, you should be taking profits soon, locking them up, and maybe leaving a small runner with a stop in place to try to move forward to. After the event, if there's a big pull, maybe the end of the week they come back and mark it up. Keep an eye on it. Okay? Give me another name. Let's go with this one. Amazon. Amazon. We talked about how tight this setup was getting a week ago. Look at the move since then. Told you my target was 1775. Heck, we're over 1800 now. So my next target here now on this is 1846, right? Roughly. Call it 45. What a move. Another name that could see some markup here. Getting hot, getting heated. Best to buy on dips. A couple days to cool off would do this name wonders. Does this make sense to you? You want to go to Micron already? Let's go to the semis. Actually, let's come back to the semis. We'll go right back there. Okay? How about this one? Nobody's paying attention to Google. Look at this move in Google off the lows. Has anybody been following this? This quiet little up, down move, hot now extended. Another name they may want to come mark up. Hard to chase this. Look at this thing getting very hot. But keep an eye on it, because you know what? They're going to want to buy the names that were strong. I'm going to save the semis for a minute. One of my favorite names in the world. Square. Not hot yet. I'm going to tell you right now, they were buying the living crap out of the April 83s today. Almost 7,000 of them. Here. Almost 8,000 of them came in at the end of the day. I'm sorry, no, 6,200 of them. See them? Forget tomorrow's. Look at the Aprils. 6,700 of them. What a nice wake-up candle. First close above 78 since earnings. Right? Do you think they may want to mark this name up as it was one of the stronger names coming off the blows? Does that make sense? Who else was very strong? Who's at an all-time high in this same space? Nope, same space. PG is not the same space. No, stay with me. There you go, Bob. PayPal. Do you think they might, even though it's hot, any dips, you think they mark this name up a little bit? Right? I was talking to you guys about this name down here. Right? When it was trending, when the market was collapsing, PayPal was holding in. I kept telling you to watch this name. Nice move. Okay. So let's go to the semis. You want to talk on the semis? Okay. You wanted Micron. I don't know on Micron. So this is where I tell you need to watch Micron and see how it reacts here. And the reason I'm telling you that is because first of all, let me get you on a smaller scale chart. The reason I'm telling you this is because it's right into resistance here, right? You see my line? This wasn't drawn today, and this thing has been here forever. It stopped on a dime there. Here's your 200-day. See if they come after it. It could use an inside day or two. But if this is real, Micron should get continuation. It may go sideways for a day or two, then pop. Your next target becomes 46, and then we have a gap up here at 48. But you got to make sure they really, really want it. Micron's been a very tough name. Although, look at the volume. Closing on the highs gives me some confidence in the name, right? Does that make sense? But who do you think they may be marking up here more than Micron in the semi space? We'll come back to NVIDIA. AS has got it. AMD. AMD. This name has held in. When the market collapsed, did this name collapse? You got it, Don, right? Held in. Tuesday. Look at that candle. Look at the volume the last 3 days. Look at that candle. I was telling everybody, you watch this name. It's not done. Boom. Another huge move. Hit my second target, 28. Where's my next target? Who wants to guess? Nope, 30. 2 more bucks. We don't work in 32s, but I do think it could break above this 33 area eventually. 32. I'm sorry, 30. 30 is my next target. 30 is my next target on this one. We'll take it to the bot where see here all the pivots around here. That will be your next area where it's going to come in. Why do you have a hard time buying a stock that trades? I love buying stocks that have volume because that tells me it's good. I'd rather trade a stock like this than a low float stock who I don't know when is going to come crashing down around my ears. Okay, AMD they may buy. How about this one? XLNX. You think they might be looking to buy this thing and mark it up? Right? Now this is what you want to watch for Micron. You have a pro gap, right? By a pro gap, you gapped up, you made a big gap, you closed close to the highs, and you never, ever came close to violating it, right? Look at this move. It just trended above the 8-day, right, until today. So some of these names might be seeing it already. Somebody brought up NVIDIA. Right? In that gap. Hot. But room to run all the way up now to 196 if it wants it. Okay? Might they come mark this up now off this low of 131 to 183? They might. Right? They might come for it. The semis, when the semis lead, they can stay hot. The semis are something you don't have to look at RSI and get terrified. The semis can stay hot and stay embedded overbought. You guys haven't talked about one of my favorite names that I've been trading almost every day. Roku, you got it, Suresh. Roku. I've been long Roku. I've been in and out of it. April 70 calls paid me nicely this week. I took a hit on Common this week because I did something very dumb by accident. But I've been telling everybody, it breaks above the 8-day again. This thing can run. And here's my thesis. This stock, this day, CES, halted, guides up, right? At CES, big candle. The next day, Citron comes out, and even though he's not shorted, he says, we have a short thesis on it, and we're watching it. But first he says to short it, but then he comes out and corrects it. What does this stock do? It never breaks the 8-day, does it? Look at this. Closes on or above the 8-day, all the way up. Earnings day. There's no way they can possibly beat. How many people said to me, there's no way they can beat? Not only they beat, they guided up a second time in 2 months. Boom. What happened on this day here? Who remembers? You got 2 big downgrades. Stock gets hit. Tries to rally to the 8-day, fails, comes below it. 3 days in a row, it bangs against it, cannot break through it until today. Now we see. If it can stay above the 8-day, I'm looking for 70, and then we see. Heavily shorted Stan, and Wall Street doesn't yet quite understand them, do they? Right? Wall Street really doesn't quite understand them yet, do they? Okay? Like this one. Another one that's really good one to look for markups. Somebody said Procter & Gamble. Boy, this thing's been incredible. Up, 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 and up. You're right. Wouldn't you want to say you're in Procter & Gamble? This is not a fast mover like the beta names we like to play, but isn't this a lovely name? Right? Wouldn't you want to show you're in there? How about Merck? Anybody looked at this one lately? Just grinding here, higher and higher and higher. My point is, guys, is that markets can keep going here. There's a lot of bullishness. McDonald's, sure. Finally woke back up into this range. Big area for it, isn't it? We'll see if it can go. Yep, starting to improve. What's another name they may mark up in the same space? McDonald's used to own them. Anybody looked at CMG lately? You know, nothing but a 100-point move since earnings, right? Is that not one of the quietest 100-point moves you've ever seen? Does it care that it's overbought? We did Micron already, Sean. We already did that one. What else? What else could they buy here? Let's talk about some type setups we talked about. J&J? Let's talk J&J. Would you want to mark this up? I don't think so, Chris. It could go, but I don't know that I want to be showing people I was in it. Oh, Manu, good ones. Microsoft. Yeah, who's been paying attention to this little monster? Right? Look at this thing. Up, up, and up. Kept telling everybody. I lost track of it. I hate to say it, but in here, when the market was weak, they were buying it and pushing it up. Sure sign they wanted it. Now, I wouldn't be touching it up here, but this thing doesn't care, right? Just keeps going. Took out the all-time high, and instead of taking a break, it just keeps powering up. Cisco. Hate the way this name trades because it's a slow grinder. But man, since earnings, right? Look at this thing. All right? For Cisco, we've gone from 48 to 53. That's a huge move. But look how slow it was getting there, right? It just doesn't do that fast. Don, Intel? Intel's a little tougher. Love Intel. Nice move. They may mark it up some more. Huge move off of that new CEO, right? Okay. All right. I need to get going in a couple minutes. Couple other things I want you guys to take a look at. Pointed this out today. I hate Netflix and the way it's been trading for the last couple months. But we talked about tight setups. The one thing all the tight setups have in common is they have pulled to the bottom of the Bollinger Band before they broke out and went. Netflix yesterday, out of nowhere, woke up on some volume, and here is the extension, and you have a gap up ahead to fill. You have to keep an eye on Netflix. If you can get any weakness, take a look at it here at this point. All right? Talked about how tight the Bollinger Bands. Talked about to you guys on Twitter. They've been buying the living hell out of May 33s. I'm in them. Twitter yesterday, out of nowhere, after going so tight, woke up, exploded yesterday. Today, not much power, but held in well. And look at this. What do you have here? You have a massive gap to fill. You have another big gap up above here. I'm long the 33s of May, and I think it goes to there, and then we see. What else has been tight? And again, look at this. Another one. Tight setup, fakes to the bottom, comes up, and explodes. Here's one that hasn't done it yet, but I would keep an eye on it. IQ. I'll be the first to tell you I took a loss on this week. I thought it was going to break 28, and it yanked. Look how tight the Bollinger Bands have gotten. Yanking to the bottom of the Bollinger Bands here. If this follows everything else, what's it going to do off of here? Right? If it follows everything else, it's going to go higher. Pulls to the bottom and takes off. Needs to break 28. Above 28, guys, this thing explodes. Okay? I will tell you, I've watched this. These 4 touches here of it, every time there's nobody there, and then all of a sudden a seller comes in and just pounds it. That is somebody who's accumulating it, right? They only do that because they're not let it run. What else is getting tight and ready to run? These names are all looking great like this, so keep an eye on them. JD today, they've been buying calls on this. First close above the 200-day since back here. Worth watching. If China names wake up, this is one I want to be in. I think this goes over 30 and just keeps going. This name's been beaten up for a long time. My point is this. The market's getting a little hot. I think, we could get some pullback, but we don't have to get a pullback. What can we get instead? Sideways, right? Rotation, right? They'll rotate to names that haven't moved yet and let some of the other ones go rest, right? Relax. Right, guys? Right, David? Chris? Right? Nice. Troy? So they'll let these guys relax and they'll play with some other names. What's going on next week? Mnuchin and Lighthizer are back in Beijing, right? Baba? Love Baba, Charles. It's in the same boat at this point. It had a big move. It's waiting for news now, right? Not acting as strong, not acting bad. IQ, love it. Baba, uh, Huya, another one. HUYA, all of them acting well. Billy, BILI, right? Baba, just waiting. Hoya looks poised, right? Look at this. Looks beautiful. Looks poised. The only thing I don't like is it had that huge earnings move and gave it back, but it's rebuilding, like Square. Billy, another one. Acting okay. Not as nice the last couple of days. How about Momo, earnings last week? Acting well. Looks ready to roll. So again, they have not rotated back to these names. They could rotate here. Boeing, guys, I would avoid. I would just avoid it for now and stay away. I went over this with my subscribers in detail today for a lot of reasons. I would just stay away for now. I would avoid this for now. I would let the dust settle. At the end of the day, they're going to be okay, but it could be a very bumpy road in getting there. And let's put it this way. Are you going to be marking this name up next week? If you're a fund, are you going to be showing that you can own this at the end of the quarter? No, right? So just let it play out. Okay, guys, I need to go start packing, getting myself ready. I appreciate you guys spending part of your Thursday nights with me. Um, I will be out next week, so you won't see me posting. There'll be no charts on Sunday, but I'll be back next weekend, and what the first thing I'll be doing is getting myself back into the markets and looking at charts and stuff. I hope you're all having a great time. Be good. Thanks for spending some time with me tonight, and I'll catch you guys all shortly. Charles, thank you. I'll send you guys this. Don't sign up this week, please. Please wait till next Saturday, okay? If you're interested. Sending an email out right now to everybody. Please say you got it. That's my website. But I'm not around this week. I do $25 for the first 30 days. Cancel anytime. Renews at $100 a month. If you're interested, go take a look at smartoptiontrading.com. But don't sign up this week. I'm not going to be around. I don't want you guys to not feel like you're getting slighted. Does that make sense? I want you guys to get maximum value out of it. And thank you for asking. All right, guys. Everybody have a good night. I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you very much. Much needed vacation. See you guys soon. I am back next weekend on the 30th. Yep, I'll be back for Mutual Fund Monday. It's $25. There's the website. Sign up if you're interested. But wait till next weekend. Do not do it now. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful night.